Hey, listen, some of us like to talk more than others.
Some of us are going to get muted more than others.
Oh, man, that's crazy, man. That's
Mom and Dad are fighting. Mom and Dad are fighting. Everyone cover your ears.
That's crazy. He's a mute.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. The Sunday panel is here, and boy, do we have a full house. And let's welcome Nick back, because we haven't seen Nick in some time. And we'll spend a little bit of time since we haven't seen you, Nick. Boy, I sure wished you'd been on back when Dallas was going through pure hell. I guess they're out of their misery for the moment until next year. Do you have high hopes for next season?
That's a good question, actually. I haven't even thought about next season yet. I'm still wallowing in my misery. We're not out of our misery yet. I'm still very much in that mode. So, do I have high hopes? No, I do think we have a good roster when healthy, though, right? That's the key word, is healthy for everyone. But I still think we have a good roster. It's just the air. We just feel totally deflated right now. So I don't even know what it probably feels like to be in the locker room with those guys. You know, do they even think anyone's going to be around in a couple of years? Or are things going to keep changing and shuffling? Is Nico going to do something crazy again, right? So I still think we have a good roster, not as good, but you know, what's the best case scenario? Fifth or sixth in the West next year, you know, on the high end. So
thank you, Nick. Moving on. Robin, wake us up, buddy. Come on, human coffee. Let's go.
Oh, man, you started the whole damn thing talking about you gonna mute me, and you didn't just mute that whole soliloquy right there. Are you kidding me right now?
I'm trying.
Listen, yo, once again, man, shout out to everybody in the chat that comes through on the Sunday lives. Yes, we got my man Nick back. Everyone say hi to Nick. We got the Zarda video footage. We got Speen. We got Hoop God. We got my man Zay in the building. Like, you guys know the deal, man. Let's roll.
Hoop God, are you going to get your shit together like one of these years?
Yes, sir. I'm ready to go now. Got my body armor. I'm ready.
Zay, please say what's up to everybody.
Fanboys. I know you didn't get good sleep last night. Oh man, you have to get this belt early today. You might have to get another belt early.
Is your cousin? How's your cousin today? I know it's day to day.
He might be in the hospital, man. I haven't heard from him. He said the last. Hey, look, my cousin said the last 5 minutes of the game doesn't matter.
What?
Yeah, we can tell for LeBron James.
What? Did he really say the last 5 minutes doesn't matter?
He said
you have to say that if you're a LeBron fan, because he's always bad in the last 5 minutes. Hey, Spain, you were in here nice and early. I appreciate it. Let's have you greet the people.
Yeah. Hello, welcome back, Nick. Good to see you. 1/3 of the podcast that we won't talk about. Welcome back. Thank you for everybody being here. Appreciate you. That's it. That's all I got.
Cool. And
see, that's what I was talking about. Some of us like to talk more than others.
Well, okay, hang on.
No, just stop it. That was nice and short and sweet.
Greet the people, Speen.
Hey, I gave Nick a little extra time because we haven't seen him in months. It was just basic politeness. Hoops God, we can almost see you. Say hello.
So the fans, I know a lot of the LeBron fans that I talk to, I just want to say I know you're mad, but I can't supply you all with maxi pads, okay? I get it. You wanted your king to win, but the Timberwolves are just too much. I'm ready for some good basketball. Good seeing y'all gentlemen, man. It's always great to see y'all gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Can I say something real quick? Hey, how much glazing would ESPN have done if the Lakers won that game?
Yup.
Oh, man, that would have been next level.
There would have been an emergency segment, emergency special. Everybody come in for overtime to talk about it. That's a fact.
Calling people at their house. Everyone's on call, calling them at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Stephen A., get out your sleeping bag. Come out here.
No, but you're right about that, Zay, because you know what you're alluding to is how they continue to celebrate LeBron James for these nonsensical things. They continue to celebrate LeBron James for mediocrity. You know, I saw a post on YouTube from ESPN, and they were celebrating that the Lakers had won game 2, and they said that LeBron James had never gone down 0-2 in his career in a playoff series when he had home court advantage. And I started laughing. I'm like, we're celebrating LeBron James never going down 0-2 when he has home court advantage in the playoffs. I was like, what are we celebrating here? I was like, Michael Jordan never lost a playoff series when he had home court advantage. That's something that you want to celebrate and talk about, not some nonsense like that.
Turnovers, that was a huge one.
That's a fact. You got to think, man, this was his first game 1 in LA. This is the first time he had home court advantage in the playoffs in his tenure in LA. And he lost home court.
They were plus 15 on turnovers.
His front running was getting out of control. Like, you know, he hit what I would call a couple of impressive threes. I mean, he's known to do that, but watching his mannerisms completely switch up after hitting a bucket here or there versus getting burnt on defense every other play is wild. It's like this emotional.
Hey, who got? I think you got some.
Yeah, someone got someone in the background.
Who got? I don't know if you can mute yourself.
He's muted now. But yeah, his mannerisms from making a shot, from hitting a miracle 3 to getting blown on defense, it's two completely different people. It's almost concerning from a mental component, because it's like, you know, if you're this great leader, you're supposed to be even keel throughout the entire experience, right? But he experiences like a whole wide range of emotions based on his play. And again, that's what makes him a poor leader, is how can you follow that when your second best player is just as, if not as performative with complaining? When Luka turned his back on that one play after the steal from Gobert, turned his back to complain to the ref. I thought to myself, how do you not get teed up in that moment? How do you, like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Nobody really talked about that. I was a little concerning to me that it wasn't brought up more.
Just look at the start of the game yesterday. On Friday. The first play of the game, 15 seconds into the game, the Lakers are knocking over Timberwolves players like bowling balls. Like it does. You know, if I built the ass, I just kind of wanted to get into the last 5 minutes. That was very important to me because the old LeBron showed up. The LeBron that we know showed up. You know what I mean?
Robin brought up that stat about the going down 0-2 with home court. Look, like, you know, obviously I'm coming from the point of a Mavs fan. Like, I just feel like they just don't deserve it. The Lakers just do not deserve to win a series. Like, they don't deserve to go far in the playoffs. He does not deserve to win a ring. And like, I'm the biggest Luka fan. I want to see Luka succeed. And this is kind of with him on the side or whatever, not really counting him. He just got there, but they just don't deserve this, right? You just can't go acquire players for pennies on the dollar, like one of the top 5 players in the league. And in his mind, I'm sure he thinks he's just going to waltz his way back to the finals or something, right? That's just my feeling right now. I'm obviously, I have some glasses on from my point of view, but I just feel they don't deserve it. Like, this is not how it's done, right? That's kind of how I feel.
No, you're right, Nick. I agree with you. That like, it was one of those things where, you know, I said the other day in one of my videos, it was like, you know, I don't really like Anthony Edwards that much, you know, and I've talked about it in my videos. I don't really like the way that he talks and the way that he kind of goes about it. Things sometimes to me, you know, I've said that I feel like he takes away from his overall game by chucking up all these 3-point shots sometimes, you know, what I've noticed during the regular season. But it's like, I'm not rooting for LeBron James because I don't like Anthony Edwards that much. I'd rather root for Anthony Edwards than root for LeBron James. It's like a lesser of two evils for someone like me. That's how I'm looking at this. You know, so like you're right on the money when you talk about, you know, do they really deserve it? It's one of those scenarios like, you know, that was the problem for LeBron James in Miami. He couldn't really be the bad guy and have everyone rooting against him. So when he made that move, that was playing on his mind. That was part of his problem. That's why he was mad at the end of everything and told everybody to go back to their life, because he couldn't really play the villain and have everyone look at him that way. Yo, what happened to AOH? He just like disappeared, man?
I just emailed him. I'm sure he'll get back in here.
You know, because I know he usually has like topics, And I know he doesn't really like to, go off topic. So I don't know what he wanted to talk about first. Does he want to talk about Friday night's game?
He's not here, so it doesn't matter. So just because everybody says we talk about LeBron so much, and yeah, that is true. I will bring up the one thing that we talked about in the back, just to kind of switch gears just a little bit, the whole Joe Mazzulla and Jason Tatum thing. And just real quick, how we touched on whether or not we felt that was soft or kind of whose side we have, and just kind of people's feelings about it, especially since Jason Tatum throws these little subtle comments in his post games. And Robin, you did a video with about Brown, so I just kind of want to see what everybody felt about that.
Yeah, what were the comments from Jason Tatum? Do you know what he said? Can you give us like a gist?
Yeah, it was something along the lines of somebody asked him about how to come back into the next game, and he said, we just have to get right back up. That's what Joe said, right? And then there was like this really awkward silence in the press conference, like people weren't sure if they wanted to laugh or not.
Hey, so I wanted to chime in on something, right? I wanted to get you guys' perspective. So normally when shout out to my guy Zay, LaForty goes for 38 points, it would lead to a win. That's not the case, and here's why. We've told you fanboys time and time again, you can go over there and run rup shop in that weak Eastern Conference from 2011 to 2018, okay? You don't have nobody over there impeding your progress, giving you a freight train to the goal. When you coming into the West, the big bad West where the big boys play, nah, see, that's a whole different ball game, because now you got some guys that's going to protect their paint. See, this is what we keep telling y'all. The three-pointers are nice, it's flashy, but when you get to the playoffs, just like in the NFL, it's all about the trenches. Can your offensive line dominate the defensive line or vice versa? Whoever dominates that line is going to win the game. And that's what the Timberwolves are doing. Everybody talk about Gobert. He's at his best when he's from 0 to 3 feet, protecting that rim. Then you got Naz Reid. He long. He can cover ground. Then you got Jaden McDaniels. Long, can cover ground. Rangy, right? These guys can move. It's a different ball game. Now, to give him credit, the 38 was nice, but I think they would have been better served had he went for 28 and showed up within the last 5 minutes. See, but I want to play a little song for y'all real quick, because when
What's that got to do about Joe Mazzulla?
Huh? Hey, see, this is what happened when you come to the Western Conference.
Dang, you got to put audio on, so you got to put your visual off. You got to turn your video off when you put audio on.
Hey, yo, no, I wanted to play
crazy, man.
Hey, I wanted to play that because that's who the Timberwolves remind me of. Yo, they remind me of the Wolfpack, man, because they are attacking them boys everywhere. So
I thought you were going to play Kevin Gates. I thought for sure you were going to play Kevin Gates.
Hey,
you
yo,
should have played Kevin Gates.
I'm gonna leave Gates out of this, man. He already spooked the king. He showed up. LeBron had to flop and play peekaboo, looking for him and all that. So no, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Showed up with his shirt unbuttoned. But yeah, Joe Mazzulla, Jason Tatum. I think that should be a big strike against Jason Tatum's just kind of overall game personality, like how I see him as an all-time great, because that was such a soft response to go about it like that.
Well, I think it was AOH. I don't know if it was AOH or somebody had mentioned Jason Tatum and his his lack of personality, and things of that nature in the past. And and I feel similar about Jason Tatum. The video I had made the other day about Jaylen Brown's comments, as it relates to the physicality of the Orlando Magic. And I started talking about how, it's funny to me how these guys, they act all tough. They act like, they are, bigger, stronger, faster, all these things. But the moment you get some level of actual defense being played, which is what the actual fans want to see. I saw BJ Armstrong talking on a podcast the other day, and he said that he noticed there was a shift this postseason, that he noticed a shift this postseason on what he thought was a more level of physical defense being played, a certain level of physicality coming back to the NBA. And from the games that I've watched, because I've actually watched several of these playoff games, I think he's right about that. I think there has been a shift in the level of physicality in the level of defense with some of these teams. And when you talk about someone like Jaylen Brown playing for a team like the Boston Celtics, dude, what are you complaining about? Like I said, you guys are the defending champions, and you guys have a loaded team, man. You guys are really good, and you are supposed to be the leader, and you're complaining about a physical defense? That's the way the game is supposed to be played. Defense, NBA basketball in general, is supposed to have some level of physicality in it.
Yeah, you're complaining about an 8 seed. It's not a good look.
Yeah, word, Nick.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's wild.
Hear me?
It should be a route.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, AOH. It should have been a route, man.
Or
The
2
Magic
seed,
got the number one defense.
I can't.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. Let me get my excuses out of the way. I'm in a snowstorm, and I think it shut down the Wi-Fi. I'm on my phone, so I can't monitor people. But since we have limited time, and I know Robin has to leave early, and I'm probably gonna have to leave this snowstorm. Let's talk about the Lakers and the Timberwolves game 3. Who wants to open up?
We kind of did a little bit.
Well, you can't be done. You can't possibly be done.
Hey, who want to go first? Because I'm ready. I got my.
No, Zach. Absolutely, that was a dumb question.
Oh man, boys, this was magnificent. I told you when LaFody James scores over 30, I was thirsty. I was like, fanboys, watch. I know you were hyperventilating. I know you were. Your heart rate was rising. Your hips were shaking. I know it. Trust me, my cousin. He called. He's staring at me, just staring at me. I'm like, okay, watch what happens. The last 5 minutes of the game. Now, I guess the last 5 minutes of the game doesn't matter. The most important part of the game doesn't matter. In a tie game, 38 points. They needed that 38 to turn into 45. He might have needed a 50-point night last night. But to turn the ball over and shoot a shot on the side of the backboard, fanboys, this is
The
disgusting.
side of the backboard. I
This is
lost the
embarrassing.
ball, and you couldn't even see it on the replay.
And
Right.
to follow up on Zay's point, this is the problem when you give up Anthony Davis. You need rim protection. You need a paint defender. Anthony Davis provided both of those. Albeit you had to gamble on his availability, but that's what they're missing, because when Jaden McDaniels is coming off those picks, he is attacking Luka. He's not giving no mercy, like Tupac said, no mercy. He ain't letting him breathe, and that's what you're supposed to do. When you get to the playoffs, now it's all about mismatches. It's just like boxing. It's styles make fights. You point out the weak link, you attack him. You attack him until you're satisfied. So now they see, okay, when Jaden McDaniels got Luka, they go ballistic. Ant-Man, if you know, Ant-Man is not forcing the issue. He is taking those shots that are coming to him. He's making the right play, and you can see that he's starting to hit that maturity, right? He'll get Naz Reid going, all the other guys, DiVincenzo. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the 3 balls, but hey, if you're making them, you're making them. I can't say nothing about it. And
Even Randall, he'll let Randall get going early.
Right. Not only
Randall in the 4th.
Right. And not only are they efficiently shooting the 3, but if I looked it up, they were plus 30 in the paint. They scored on 15. They scored on 15 points off turnovers of the Lakers' total 19 turnovers. Right. So they're beating them on both sides of the floor, capitalizing on their mistakes as well. It's like the Lakers have no margin for error. Like they literally have to go out and play perfect basketball to win. Where the Wolves can go out and make a few mistakes. They know they can crank down on defense, get that momentum back. They're not worried. And that's the problem when you give up Anthony Davis. You don't have your rim protection. You can't play Jackson Hayes because he doesn't have the IQ to be fundamentally sound. So now it's almost like LeBron. You're getting faced with what you used to do to the East. We're getting highway lanes to the rim. Nobody's stopping us. So unless they can make a trade and get somebody to the Lakers, Wolves in 5.
Speaking of straight to the rim, that Anthony Edwards dunk should be getting the attention that any dunk LeBron James has had throughout the entire career. His little dunk on Jackson Hayes, which was wildly impressive, should have been number 1 on everybody's list, is getting no attention. what Anthony Edwards is doing in the paint, just getting to the rim on whoever's in front of him, is getting no attention. Everyone's focused on his three ball. I don't know if that was for me or not. I'm just going to keep going. And it's weird because LeBron put up 38. That's cool, but again, they lost. That's the headline, and a loss. That's the problem. But that's
Where's Kendrick Perkins with the same energy that he had when Lucas scored 37, saying, "I don't give a damn about that. You have to do other things." Now, listen, Luka had double in this game where he had 17 points. He had double the assists that LeBron James did. So, LeBron, you had one more point than Luka in the game that Kendrick Perkins said "F you" to Luka, and you didn't have the assists. And and again, we have people having to get out of LeBron's way so that he can score on layups. And yes, he had a better shooting night than usual, but the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. Still, there's just no consistency with the reporting on this. And by the way, for all the people that like to talk so much about Pippen, like Luka's terrible night of 17 points is one of Pippen's better nights.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Luke only took 16 shots, which to me shows even Luka knew, like, this is not my night. Perhaps I need to do other things. So 16 shots for Luka, getting 17 points. You would think he might shoot 25 attempts, per night, but Austin Reeves shot more shots than Luka did in that game.
True.
So even a little bit of self-awareness, I think, from Luka.
And like you said, the game came
LeBron
down to
doesn't show that
LeBron
same
James.
self-awareness when he's off. He just keeps chucking and chucks his team out of a potential win.
Hey,
Go ahead,
your
Robin.
delay is throwing the whole show off. How's it feel?
All right, fuck it.
Doesn't feel
I'll
good,
shut
does it?
up.
I wonder what the dynamic is between Luka, Reeves, and LeBron in terms of ball dominance, right? Because I would imagine that Austin Reeves was empowered to be the second best or second scorer on that team, right? But then here comes Luka, and I wonder if Austin Reeves kind of feels away because he is seen as like the ball handler, the guy with the crosses people up, throws behind his back, has these highlight plays and all that. Luka comes in, and I wonder kind of steals that thunder a little bit. I wonder if that's a point of contention amongst those three in terms of moving the ball and controlling the offense, who's getting their shots. Because Nick, you're right. You would think Luka would shoot himself out of the slump, but he didn't. It was weird. So I wonder if that's like like an inner kind of turmoil thing in that locker room.
Fanboys, I thought that LaFody James was a pass first player.
Hold on, Zay. He fourth in all-time assists. He's not even top 20 in assists per game. Yes, he's a pass first player. Yes.
Yeah, he's a pass first player. He didn't become a pass first player until about 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game. I want to know, how is a man that take 21 shots with 4 assists is a pass first player?
Hey, so Spin, what you mentioned about the ball dominance, and I can't think of the guy who said this because I always want to give credit to who I hear say something first, but it's the heliocentric style of offense. Now, when you try to like create that as your centerpiece, that can work in the regular season. It doesn't work in the playoffs because now coaches and like the entire staff, they have time to like study you, look at your tendencies, to kind of like, I would say, develop a scheme psychologically, right? We know what you want to do. We know how you want to play. So we're going to bait you into that offense to get you going, but to get your teammates out of rhythm and out of sync, because one man not going to beat the team. That's just not going to happen. So when you have that my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn, that's cool for you two. What about everybody else? And then what you mentioned about Austin Reeves, like, I don't consider Austin Reeves a rhythm player because he can get his shot off the dribble, but you would more so want to let him get himself going first. And, I would say the quote unquote best player pick and choose your spots.
Wait, you said he is or is not a rhythm player? Sorry.
No. I'm saying I don't want to just marginalize Austin Reeves to being a rhythm player because
No,
he can be-
marginalize him. Fuck him.
No,
Keep going.
No, what I'm saying is Austin Reeves can kind of create his own shot, but he can kind of play that off ball. But it's like if you want him to thrive, you gotta give him those opportunities to get himself going. But if you got, like you said, the Luka dynamic, the LeBron dynamic, well, now he's kind of like that Kevin Love, Chris Bosh. He's kind of being, pushed off as a third option, and it's like, okay, when one of us go out, then you take over. Well, that's not really helping him, because he may get it going, and then when one of those guys come back, now they got to take that steam away from him, right? So when you have an offense like that, that's just my turn, your turn. Again, it looks nice in the regular season, but if you don't have like a constant offensive flow with wrinkles to it, where your other guys can get involved, they're not gonna go out and play like they could because they know they're not gonna get rewarded for doing all the dirty things, versus other guys who, the star player, he will see them and reward them and keep them in the flow of the game. So, yeah, I think that Luka dynamic kind of like interrupted what they had going. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Luka's great. And that's a great addition to bring to the team. But with his style of offense, it's essentially another LeBron James, albeit more efficient shooting from the perimeter.
Listen, guys. Everything you guys say is accurate, but what's really happening during this series, what's really playing out, is what played out during the regular season for these teams, man. What did we say the other day? We were talking about this, man. The role players normally play better at home. So what did the Minnesota Timberwolves do? They split on the road. They did what they had to do. And what you saw on Friday night was what I was talking about was going to happen on Wednesday when we did the live stream. I said, I'm assuming and I'm figuring that the role players for Minnesota are going to play better. So that's what you saw. DiVincenzo, Naz Reid, Gobert, Mike Conley. All the role players played better at home. And what do you know about the Lakers during the regular season? They're one of the worst road teams that are in the Western Conference playoffs, man. They're the only Western Conference team that's in the playoffs that made the playoffs, not the play-in, that didn't have 20 wins. They had a losing record on the road. So like we said, all the Minnesota Timberwolves got to do is win their home games, and the series is done, man. And look at LeBron James. They keep telling us this man is a clutch guy. Oh, LeBron James is clutch. But when we see him in the clutch, he's not clutch. So yes, what have we said many times? LeBron James can be having a game, 38 points, 40 points, 50 points. But in the last minutes, when it matters most, all of a sudden you're hitting the side of backboards. All of a sudden you're fumbling passes. All of a sudden, you're looking like a fool out there. You're not closing the game out. This is what we talked about many, many times for LeBron James, man. It's the same old story. Where's J.J. Redick with the halftime adjustments? The Lakers lost they lost the second half of their game. They were outscored the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Where are your halftime adjustments? Where's the savant of basketball? If everything's accurate, you have two savants of basketball on the court, J.J. Redick and LeBron James, and you can't figure out these guys? It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, one of my big first critiques of LeBron, even back in Cleveland, was that in crunch time, he always seems to pass instead of, sort of having the killer instinct. But then I began to realize, and this might be a hot take to some, but LeBron does not have a bag as we would traditionally think of it, right? He has an okay 3-point shot, and he relies on his athleticism to go to the hole, right? His size and his athleticism. There's really not a lot there in between, right? And I've done a whole video breaking down like their shooting percentages, him and Jordan, right? It is to the hole, or it's a 3-pointer, right? It's so in the closing minutes, like, what are you going to do to create a shot, to get something open, or to do something for your team other than just drive and dish or kick to the guy in the corner, right? That's one of my biggest critiques that I ever had of LeBron in the beginning. And I thought it was because, well, he was scared. He didn't want to take the shot. That might somewhat be true. I don't know if I can gauge that right. But one thing is for sure is that he does not have a quote unquote bag, as the kids say. Like, there's no 20-foot turnaround. There's no isolation post-up game, right? That you can really rely on in the closing minutes, that you think he's going to get you a bucket whenever he wants. That's also one of the things I think in the closing minutes. When you really watch LeBron, I do think he struggles at times. He's hit some great shots here and there, no doubt. But I think more times than not, he defers because he simply cannot do some of the things like someone like a Luka or a Dirk, just to pull a few, Jordan, guys who can get their shot anywhere, anytime they want, right? And the only reason they don't take the shot is because there might have been a better player. They're trying to get other guys going, etc. Right? So I've always been critical of LeBron in that sense.
What? Let me just say real quick to that, Nick. You're right. We as old heads, old people know that he has no bag, but the kids will tell you his bag would be getting to the paint, right? Leading with
which
his
is fair.
arm.
That's fair, by the way, right? Like that's
sure. It's like I got an argument. Actually, when I got in that argument with your cousin, debate with your cousin Zane, we were talking about the system and the triangle and how LeBron's never worked in the system. But the NBA is LeBron's system. The NBA is LeBron's bag, if you really think about it, because he has the refs, he has the influence of the commissioner, he has the respect of some of the lesser intelligent players.
What are you talking about, Steve?
All of that works for him. Oh, no. Let me finish. I want to hear your argument because I think I know where you're going to go. All right, so we're talking about two different things, I think.
We're not.
Hey,
The backboard.
wait.
Sure we are.
Why do you think he is called the bagless one?
Right. Exactly.
We're not saying it because it's funny. It's true. He has no bag. That is the problem when you don't develop your game and you just rely on your athleticism. I'm going to come back to what I said earlier. Playoffs, teams can scout you. See, they love analytics until analytics doesn't work in your favor. So prime example, if analytics say LeBron James when he drives to the right, 67% of the time he's trying to get to the rim or he's going to make a kick out pass. All right, cool. When he's driving right, we're not worried about a jump shot. But we're going to step up. We're going to play off of you, dare you to shoot. Now you don't know what to do because you're flummoxed, right? Analytics says when LeBron drives left, 67% of the time, it's a jump shot. Oh, so he likes to jump when he's going left. Okay, well, we're going to send an extra defender to throw off that rhythm. Let's see what you do. Hey, you make the shot, we live with the results. See, analytics can work both ways. It's not always, oh, you should shoot the three because if you can make 33% from three, that's better than 50% from two. Who the fuck cares if you're not winning? It's ridiculous. But yeah, we know he don't have a bag. I want to hear what Robin was yelling about. He doesn't yell very often. I want to know what he's getting so excited about.
No, you were saying, you said that the NBA is his bag. That was your direct quote.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense because what I'm saying
he's saying like the heliocentric like three or dunk is like has become this because of like what LeBron has done, I think is what he's saying.
Yeah, in the regular season.
Maybe I'm wrong.
But wait, what? How do you interpret what I'm saying?
I listen. What we were talking, he's talking about a bag, and what you said was that the NBA is LeBron's bag, and I don't understand how that makes any sense because what I thought you're trying to say is that somehow the NBA's been helping him and lifting him up and propping him and promoting him. Okay, but what I'm telling you by saying that he's hitting the side of the backboard is that it doesn't matter what you're saying about the NBA propping him up because in those moments, David Stern, Adam Silver, all these fools, the referees, they can't make those shots for LeBron James. He actually has to go out there and make a shot or make a pass or make a decision. That ultimately falls on him. So like we said, it doesn't matter how many free throws they get or don't get. He's the guy at the end of the game that blew it. He's the one that it falls on. So it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying.
And also, you think about LeBron's like biggest clutch moments. There was a chase down. There was a chase down block, which wouldn't have mattered. Kyrie still hits the game winner, whether he makes that block or not. If Iguodala makes that layup, Kyrie still wins the game. Then he has that one against Orlando in which they lost the series 3-1, I believe was the ending result of that series. He hit that long three or whatever. And then the other one is it's like a first or second rounder against Toronto. He hit some game winner in a series like that. I mean, he just doesn't have a lot of like memorable clutch time moments, right? I've also noticed that like nothing really holds up when you kind of scrutinize it in terms of how clutch he is.
Yeah, LaFody James is not clutch in any way. I don't know where this clutch gene that they speak of. It's too many instances. It's too many games. It's too many series where we've seen him flame out.
Yeah, and a lot of times they'll say like, well, the pass was the right play, right? When you are my superstar, I understand we'll make the right play, but if I need a bucket, you are my superstar. I want the ball in your hands to get that bucket. And I just don't think LeBron quite is on that level of some of the others. Well, not close, really.
Hey, guys, I'm making an attempt to participate again. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, what's one of the things that was baffling to me is them claiming that LeBron had one turnover, and that's simply not true. Now, there's one in the first period that I want to talk to you guys about when LeBron James had one of his Balco breakdowns and his body just stops working and he fell down. Now listen, he falls down and it takes him a while to recover. And he finally gets the ball to someone else who has to chuck it up and misses everything. And it's a shot clock violation, which goes against the Lakers as a turnover, a team turnover. But whose fault was that turnover? Now, this doesn't, in the box score, this doesn't go against LeBron James, but he's responsible ultimately for that turnover, for the teammates being in that situation. Also, the teammate whose shot percentage was reduced by trying to save them from what LeBron James did. Now, it was on common sense that I heard yesterday. I mean, it's just LeBron James is a mind-boggling piece of shit. Actually took this opportunity to point out other people's turnovers. The one time that he didn't have more than the rest of the team. That's just a terrible human being. That is a terrible, disgusting human being.
Disgusting.
And for those of you who watched it live, like how many turnovers do you feel like he actually had? Because there's not a chance in hell it was one. And I'm going play by play and breaking it down, so I haven't gotten through everything. But there's not a chance in hell he got one.
I watched the first half, and I don't know about turnovers, but I know for certain that just in the first half that I watched, this man didn't get across half court at least 3 times I can remember off the top of my head.
Absolutely.
Hey, Robin, before I forget, I don't want to take up a whole video. You got to argue me about this. You got to argue with me about this, the league pushing for LeBron. You have to. Not right now because it'll take over the whole show, but we got to come back to that.
There's nothing to argue. You're right. I'm just saying it's not going to help him at the end of games, Beam. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to help him be clutch.
Oh my God!
I got out some of my frustrations by joining Zay's live stream the other night, but I mean there was a lot of nutty shit to point out. There was a lot, and that shot off the backboard, the ball just slipping out of his hands, and man, I got to tell you, I have yet another game in which LeBron James is spending more time wiping his hands and then blowing into his hands. When you saw that ball just fly out of his hands, and that must be the turnover that they're counting. And if it's not, then my God. Which everybody in the chat, which one's more likely that LeBron has like a sticky glue like receivers use in order to hold on to the ball in his under jersey? Or is it that he has Balco secretions to such an extent he has to wipe his hands every...
It's the glue from his weave. That's what it is. It gets stuck on his hands when he adjusts his hair. And that's how the turnovers happen. I thought you knew that.
I don't know anything. I ask questions.
I think it happens more when it's late in the game. It's like he's nervous. He's sweating and he's nervous because he's been doing this for 22 years. How are you still nervous and shaky in the last 5 minutes of a game?
I would love to jump on that, but he's doing it the whole game. He's doing it
Can I quote Stephen A. real quick? When the situation like that, the clutch, right? The pressure's on. They say palms get sweaty, backsides get tight. No diddy. Your throat start to get dry like you ate about 20 Popeyes biscuits with no strawberry soda. Everybody not built for those moments. That's why you got guys like Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. They're ready for those. Hell, Big Shot Bob, for crying out loud. They're ready for those moments. But then you got those other guys who, they're 7 feet tall in the first 3 quarters, but then they turn into mini-me in the fourth quarter. It's just too much for him. That's just that's the reality of the situation.
Did you all?
I think it's actually a nervous tick at this point for LeBron James. I think it's a force and a habit for him. It's something that he just has to do. And I think it does have to do with nerves and things of that nature. Or it could be something where maybe he has some kind of allergic reaction to the power or the powder toss that he does before games.
Hey, did you guys acknowledge these super chats, or shall we acknowledge some of these people real quick?
I can't see them.
Okay, let's
Definitely should.
Okay, Shoot the J was first. He says, "Good morning, fellas. Good to see you. Thank you, Shoot to J. I apologize to everyone for my technical problems today."
Yo, shout out to Shoot the J.
Nick Tri-State, good to have you here. Half court, full court, and paid its child support. Wolverines.
That's funny.
That was a good one.
I've seen a lot of those. I started wanting to write them down and using them, but boy, people would just keep cranking them out.
I think I saw that on whose page was it? I think I saw that on Comment's page. Somebody left that comment. They said full court, half court, and paid all his child support.
That's good.
I'm tired of seeing Shannon Sharp out there making a fool out of chucking and jiving, rhyming shit that doesn't even make any sense just to say Lakers and 5 to be wrong.
And there aren't ever any consequences. Hey, Robin, you'll appreciate this because I know you don't I know you're not down with Anthony Edwards, and neither am I. Did anyone else notice him talking shit after he fucked up? Like he was like, "Oh, I almost dunked on you, except that I lost the ball out of bounds." I'm like, I just don't understand this age where people talk shit after they fuck up. Hey, this is what might have happened. You don't get to talk about what you might have done and didn't because you screwed up.
John Morant has a whole career based on that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good point, Steve.
True.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If Anthony Edwards takes the time stone from LaForty James, he might be immortalized, man.
Well, I have
He done beat last year. He done beat KD and he took out Jokic. This year he's starting off with LaForty James with the time stone. Oh my God!
Hey, so wait, Ant-Man and Thanos.
I have yet another clip though of him having an easy opportunity to dunk on LeBron's head and not doing it. There's something going on here. Shoot the J with the $5 super chat says Steph Curry last night was a true leader, performance exact opposite of LeBron without Jimmy Butler. Even Robin put out a video this morning praising Steph Curry. So that must have been great. I didn't have enough signal here in the snow to watch it. Dallas in the chat. Good to see you, Dallas. I feel like it's been a while.
Always good to see Dallas.
I repeat, Randall needs to attack. He makes himself small. Ant should be averaging 35. Nobody can guard him. They're frustrating to me. Well, they can guard him because he's decided to take the lazy man's offensive approach and chuck up threes and then not dunk on LeBron when he has an easy opportunity to do it. Roger,
when Ant has kind of like, really put the pressure on the Lakers at certain moments of these games, you could tell, like Dallas was saying, like they can't stop him. No one, like they were looking for Luka out there, man. They were looking for these one-on-one matchups, man, and he was dogging these guys out. But like you said, sometimes he kind of, takes a back seat and takes his foot off the gas a little bit.
Let me read a couple more of these. Roger Hurt says, do you think JJ is distracted or motivated by the backboard conducting HC interviews with Steve Nash on his podcast?
That's a great question. I think he's arrogant enough not to be bothered by it. And I don't even know if that he should be. I think that if so it's not even upside down world, right? It's the real world. If the Lakers were crazy enough to hire Steve Nash as a head coach or even assistant coach or anything involving the team, again, I'm going to be like, yo, the government's got to get involved at this point. This level of collusion and shadiness, it's like a movie. It's like one of those one of those political movies where it's like 10 years worth of all this subterfuge and you have to work it out. If Steve Nash ends up on that team in any capacity, I'm telling you, it's something needs to be investigated. That's too much smoke for there not to be fire. It'd be that obvious.
Yeah, we could spend an entire Sunday shitting on Steve Nash at this point.
No,
and his eyes that look two different ways.
I'm sorry, Nick, but he's
no.
he's disgusting. Have you watched it? We'll go down
the podcast with him and LeBron. No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, well, good for you. Don't, and just keep remembering Steve Nash the way that you used to.
Okay.
Now, let me say about JJ Redick that the Lake Show and some other biased supporters were putting out this. JJ Redick had a legendary timeout that saved the Lakers in game 2. And it's funny because he didn't do anything except for get mad at his team. Do people really think that that's a first time event? Like, this has never happened. And by the way, the Lakers were still in the lead. Where were the legendary timeouts for you guys to brag about in the games that they were losing? And what exactly is legendary? And they have a sound bite. These idiots actually in their video promoting JJ Redick included Austin Reeves saying he told us to play better. Well, that's really legendary, isn't it? Where does JJ come up with his?
Damn, I could have done
That's like Vince Lombardi.
Yeah, I could have
That's champ. You strive for greatness with stuff like that. The only legendary timeout is what's his face. Buddy used to play for the Kings. Timeout in college. Chris Webber. That's the only legendary timeout in the history of timeouts. I've never heard a timeout be called legendary in basketball ever. Maybe in football to free somebody up
in the first round.
The glazing is astonishing. It's just astonishing. RDT says LeBrick James' legacy is giving current generation the art of flopping. Yes, it has increased. And yet I've got to say, I still don't think anyone has flopped more or worse than LeBron James, despite him leading the way. Oh my God. Look who has joined the panel.
Oh snap, it's Dart.
Yes.
There's a Dart on the board. Dart on the board.
Hello, everyone. Michael Jordan fans are the best, and I saw the MJFB shirt as I woke up, so I called in for a second, but it's like 1 o'clock in the morning here.
My man.
It sounds like it, Dart. It sounds like it's 1 in the morning there.
Yeah.
So
thanks for calling in.
So can you all catch me up from the top?
No, yell at him. Point at him and yell at him.
I said, yo, and he shut up. That's all that's necessary. Hey, Roger Hurt says to Robin, I have to agree with Robin. The turnover always comes through by fumbling late game situations. He's definitely clutch, just not for his team.
Thank you very much, Roger Hurt. You guys know the deal. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yo, shout out to my man Dart for coming through. Wake up, Dart. We're talking about Friday night's game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Lakers. LeBron James out there fumbling the passes, hitting the side of backboards, not getting across half court. The typical LeBron James stuff.
Belt to ass. Shout out to Zay.
Rakeem Khan says, I don't always agree with you, but I respect your views. Are you talking to our panel, or is that to someone in particular?
Hey, most people don't like you. It's probably you.
Nah, it's probably me.
Yeah.
You're always telling me I'm yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I love the fact that we call Bron haters, but yet they stay crying in the comments like, okay, y'all hitting the algorithm. Okay, thank you.
Well, that's why I give Zay's cousin so much credit, because he came on and we argued for like 5 hours. Like 5 straight hours the other day.
Hey, telling the truth doesn't get you a lot of friends, but it gets you a couple of quality friends.
I agree.
I made it. I'm a quality friend. Thanks, AOH.
Jolly Joshins. You're my best friend, Speem.
Thanks, man.
Jolly Joshams. The problem is, no matter how much evidence you have against LeBron, fanboys will still go with whatever the ESPN narrative is. That's why we need you guys to keep on pounding the truth into their heads. Listen, the shit that Kendrick Perkins said makes me really want to hurt him. Like, he needs to be punished. You can't just it's beyond irresponsible. It's just terrible. It's not. Oh, somebody interrupt me.
No, you're dead right. I'm sure when he talks, it hurts his head too, because there's no way he knows what the hell he's doing. You can see him get overworked, and it's irresponsible journalism. I'm not sure I don't know if there's like an oath you take as a journalist or anything like that, like you would with like a doctor, but you would think integrity would be at the top of that list. And there's so much irresponsible journalism from Kendrick Perkins specifically. And I bring this up all the time, the whole, talking about MVPs being white and all this bullshit, costing Jokic his third MVP. To me, that should cost a man his job, because you're taking something away from him. You're giving it to Embiid, basically, who everyone knows didn't deserve it, and that has an impact on this man's like legacy and career. You can just say the stupid shit, and you can say the same metaphor about birds and brains and flying backwards and all this other bullshit, and it doesn't seem to cost you anything.
Exactly.
It doesn't. There's no consequences for somebody who goes out and just blabs and is visibly sweaty and nervous, and he does a live stream with him dribbling, and you can see that he can't dribble, and he may have lower body deficiencies and all this stuff, and you get to keep your job as a result of that. That does bother me.
Lower body deficiencies.
That's nasty work, man.
Roger Hurt says LeBron's bag, missed free throw, turnovers, backboard bricks, offensive fouls, whining like a bitch, excuses, Balco hits from whatever he has in his jersey that he blows off his hands, and Diddy invites. You guys, I literally have, and I haven't even completed my breakdowns, over 3 games, 10 illegal screens, moving, not just illegal, not just moving, but like dirty screens by LeBron James that were all 100% uncalled. And that's like chapter 18 in the book of what LeBron gets away with. Like, who even has time to think about the screens? We don't even have, look, I gave up on pointing out the travels and the carries like a year ago, and everybody's like, hey man, you missed the carry. I'm like, no, I just, what's the point?
Yeah, everyone carries these days.
What happened to Lakers in 5?
Well, Shannon's off TV now. Now it's more like Shannon for $5 million to pay the snowboarding woman.
No, we gotta have a eulogy with the Undertaker theme song, because we gotta rest in peace to the Lakers in 5. We told them that's not gonna happen.
But like you said, there aren't ever any consequences. You just
remember, there's a pattern here, right?
Consequences.
Wait, there's a pattern here. Remember, this started in 2011 when he said not 1, not 2, not 8, not 9. Okay, you see what happened, right? Then he said he's gonna activate playoff mode. No playoffs. Weatherman said a storm coming. We never seen that storm. I mean, he got on Twitter. Oh, we're gonna make the playoffs and talk about my team. Suddenly, he deleted the tweet. You're not the bravado, okay? Your MO is not to talk noise. Just be quiet and just let's see how it plays out. Because when they start doing all this chirping, they got their chest stuck out, then they get drop kicked, and we don't hear nothing else from them.
The NBA should have fined him for deleting that tweet. When you post something that crazy, talk about our age and talk about my personnel, and then you go and delete it, there should be you should lose something as a result of that. I don't know what, but you know what I mean? It's such a bitch thing to do, just as a human being in general, right?
Yeah,
exactly. You're a billionaire. So you shouldn't care. So leave it out there, whatever. But so you delete it?
Off the top of your heads, does anyone know how many tweets he's deleted? Because there's several.
Oh wow, no, I didn't. I did not.
Wait, AOH, how many games?
The fact that we're asking that's crazy.
Yes, that's the real point, Robin. I don't even need to know the number.
Wait, I want to say this. He's lost 33 total games in the final. So if I had to make a accurate guess, I'm going to say about 33 different tweets.
I was going to guess about 33, yeah.
Really?
Y'all just making up stuff now.
Mustaf Ahmed says, who is better playoff player, Jokic or Shea?
SGA right now.
Yeah, that's not
like right now, SGA, but I mean, obviously,
Listen, man.
Jokic just won a ring.
Jokic
so.
has been struggling in the fourth quarter in most of these games that I've watched, man. He hasn't really been, like dominant or really consistent in the fourth quarters, man. He's missed several free throws. I remember the game one that they actually ended up winning. He missed two big free throws at the end of that fourth quarter that really cost them the game, that made it have to go to overtime. And his teammates have kind of stepped up. So I think SGA's been more dominant this postseason.
Hey, he had the game-winning assist last night.
Yeah, don't get Robin started.
Yeah, not intentionally.
Hey,
That was a terrible shot, man.
Grenade Jaw is out the playoffs.
And guess what? The Grizzlies won. How many times have we seen the Grizzlies do better without Jaw?
The Thunder look unstoppable right now. I will say that. So
swept them right out of there.
Yeah, but that was the first game that was even close without Jaw.
Without Jaw, yeah.
Yeah, because they used to play without him because he's never there.
Yeah, game 3, they were up by 20 at one point. I understand they still lost, but game 3 was a respectable game, I guess, however you want to put that, by the Grizzlies.
Okay.
They used to play without him.
Adam Silver will start taking the last shots. Okay. Blade
That's what they might need.
Yeah.
Predator missile Jaw.
Don't be mean. LeBronica is a wonderful woman. We need to, I don't know, you guys can help me out with coming up with a different phrase, because we're really disrespecting women when we compare LeBron to women. We can do better than that. David Knowles, AOH, Luka carrying the ball every step. Exactly. A lot of people, I put out my
I agree.
I don't know how many of you guys saw that the Lakers got away with putting 2 Timberwolves on the ground in the first 12 seconds of the game. And I was so focused on that, I didn't even
they mentioned that.
I didn't even mention Luka carrying the ball, but what am I going to do? Point out every single time that they are on offense because they don't not carry the ball.
Yeah, everyone puts their hand under the ball these days. It's crazy.
Anyway, let me finish reading it. AOH, Luka carrying the ball every step when driving, then changing direction, pauses, has to be the most egregious no calls in this series so far. Well, what's sad is that there's a debate because I think LeBron's moving screens are pretty darn bad. I mean, he threw himself into Gobert's ribs. He not only wasn't in a legal screen position, but threw himself sideways like a weapon into the guy's ribs without a call.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's the first 12 seconds. You guys just think how many more times I'm going to find that throughout the rest of the game. I've already found 2 more, and I'm not even to halftime. Mr. Locow, Paul Pierce has more memorable clutch moments than LeBum over Al Harrington when he called game for the Wizards against the Knicks with Nate Robinson. Good. I like that.
Oh, game.
Paul Pierce used to give LeBron James the business, man. The business.
Yeah. And you know what? Paul Pierce, they talk about unathletic people from the past. Does Paul Pierce have anything that slightly resembles muscle tone anywhere?
Nope.
No.
He's
the white Luka Doncic in the way he's built a little bit.
I told you. See? Yep. I told you, Luka. Paul Pierce.
That smooth body.
Smooth body. That's funny.
Yeah, there's someone in the chat named Sports.
I'm stealing that. Well, no, that's not gonna get me.
I heard Kobe. Kobe was breaking down Paul Pierce. He was saying that he's not fast, he's not quick, but he has that skills and he has the fundamentals where he can get to his spot and raise up, and that's all you need. Athleticism does play a part, but when you're fundamentally sound and skilled, that's going to trump athleticism.
Yo, word, God. And like an NNB, Nick mentioned earlier, the go-to move. Paul Pierce had a go-to move.
Yeah, he had a couple of them, to be honest. He had 2 or 3 go-to moves.
With the the elbow jumper?
Yeah, he had the
elbow
step back.
Jumper. The step back, the post fade, baseline fadeaway.
Y'all know there's someone in the chat named Sports and Racist Rants.
I caught that.
Wow.
I was gonna let Robin know about that, but I didn't.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
that's probably that same
Hey.
guy. That dude's made like 100 channels, man.
Yo, you
You
gotta
know,
running
he's
out
like
of
a stalker.
Gmails.
I have stalkers. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That's how
You
you know
gotta
you
be
blew
a-
up. When you got
you got-
stalkers, I know I made it.
You gotta
Hey.
be a miserable person to create a fake account just to go harass somebody on it.
You got to stop. You got to stop rewarding these people by even acknowledging them.
And we got
It is
Dreamers
proof
Pro
you made
Burner.
it, though. I will agree with that. You get stalkers, that's proof you made it. That is
Oh yeah,
Word.
legit. I agree with that. That's worth
Definitely.
more than what I feel like.
Yo, you know when you really made it? When they kill you.
Yeah.
God
Can
damn.
we switch gears?
Well,
Because that's
I hope that
you
doesn't
took that
happen.
dark real fast.
And we got sports and fitness, not sports and Dreamers Pro Burner account in there, man.
A burner.
That's is that the real name? Dreamers Pro Burner?
That's
Nah,
something like
it was somebody in there just posted Dreamers Pro bio 100 times. I'm like, what the fuck?
so there's no way
Sunday
Lakers come
Live.
back from 3-1, right? If they go, no, I'm sorry. When I don't want to jinx it. They don't come back from 3-1 in this instance, right?